Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Red's your favourite football fan channel made in Manchester. This is your preview for the game between Manchester United and FC Copenhagen away from home in the Champions League, which will be our fourth group game of the tournament. I've got my Indian brothers alongside me, Dan and Shreyas. How are we doing, lads?
Yeah, doing good. Just enjoying the last win.
Yeah, doing fairly well.
Yeah, are we still sitting on that win? Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to drag it out as much as we can.
Yeah. It's a rare occasion, so we are just trying to ride it out until we can.
Yeah, you've got to celebrate when you can. Right, I've got 5 warm-up questions for you. So it's not the usual warm-ups we do.
Yeah.
It's just based on the tournament. So name one player who deserves a start from the last game.
Pelistri.
Yeah, Pelistri.
Okay. Will we get to the knockout stages of the tournament?
Look, because me and you said that we'll make it to the semis, so I'll have to say yes.
Mate, I think I said we'd win it, to be honest with you. So, let's not talk about that. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think yes, because the table looks so wide open. I mean, the first is already sorted, but the second place, all three can fight for the second place. I think yes,
absolutely. Who will finish as the top scorer in the Champions League?
For us?
No. If anyone, for us. Just in general, in the whole kind of tournament, who do you think will finish top scorer?
I think Harry Kane.
Okay.
Vinicius.
Good shout. Vinicius, very nice. Name 3 things you want to see from this game, the Copenhagen game.
A clean sheet and a win.
Okay, you can have 2 if you want.
Yeah,
Dan?
One thing is Pelistri starting. Kobe Mino starting.
Okay.
And Reguilon starting. Reguilon starting. I don't want any right back to play.
Yeah, Dallo was fucking horrendous in the last game, wasn't it? Jesus Christ. Right, I want you both to name a 5-a-side team of Champions League players. 1 attacker, 2 midfielders, 2 defenders. Oh shit, that's a fucking... No. 1 attacker, 1 midfielder, 2 defenders, and 1 keeper. I was thinking that's 6-a-side there.
Place,
so.
Right?
Shreyas, yeah. No, from all time.
All time?
All time.
Okay. Goalkeeper, Iker Casillas.
I knew you were going to pick Casillas.
In the defense, I would go Sergio Ramos and Maldini. In midfield, Paul Scholes, and in the attack, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Very nice, Dan.
I'll go with the goalkeeper, Ederson, maybe.
Okay.
Ederson, and defend one Vidic, another one Puyol.
Nice.
And midfielder, I'll go with
Scott McTominay.
Scholes.
Oh, Scholes. I was like, Scholes? Who the fuck is that? Scholes. Yeah.
Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
Attacker, any day you ask me, I'll go with Ronaldo.
Cristiano. Okay. I'll let you both have that one. I thought you should pick some of the more kind of obvious, not obvious ones, but obviously the best of the best. So I've got Neuer, Nestor. I did have another midfielder, but then I realised that was 6-a-side. So Neuer, Nestor. I'll go... Ooh, let me think. Nestor. Oh, no, Nestor. Not Maguire. Definitely not Maguire. Oh, fucking hell. I'll go Cannavaro. So Neuer, Nestor, Cannavaro, Seedorf. I'll change around the name of Seedorf, and Raul up top as well. So yeah, just a little light thing there, just to get us started. Yeah. I want to bring it slightly back to Manchester United a little bit if we can, because if we talk about the old times, might get a little bit upset. We certainly aren't the team that we used to be in this competition. So yeah, and the results are very up and down for us at the moment. Conceded 6 goals against Newcastle and Manchester City in the derby, both at Old Trafford. Scored none in any of them, and then we kind of go away to Fulham, scrape a 1-0 right at the end with Bruno Fernandes scoring the winner. Otherwise, that was another conversation we was going to have, saying what the fuck are we doing? So judging by how the team's performing at the moment, and judging how they performed in the reverse fixture of this at Old Trafford, It's going to be tough. We know it's going to be tough because Copenhagen, if we're being honest, lads, basically outplayed us at Old Trafford, especially in the first 45 minutes. We don't have anyone in outstanding form at the moment. We don't have people scoring a lot of goals, and we do tend to leak goals anyway, especially away from home. Who do you think can step up in this game, Shreyas, going into it? What players or individual players you look at and you think maybe they can start to come into form?
I think Bruno Fernandes. I think someone as a priority needs to be Bruno Fernandes, because I think at least for now, till Casemiro comes back, he's going to be the leader of that midfield. Amrabat is still tiptoeing his way into the into the first 11. I'm glad that we've got someone like him, because now that Casemiro is out, you can play Amrabat in as a 6, who is probably the only natural 6 that we have in this 11. So apart from that, I think right now the whole midfield is haywire. And if maybe Bruno, after scoring that goal against Fulham in the dying minutes, maybe he can pick up some form, maybe he can start to get some consistency in, because I still expect that if Bruno is able to get in some consistent performances, it can make the job easy for Højlund up top.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way he dealt with the fucking wingers, decided to provide for the striker. Dan, when you look at the first game, I don't know if you can remember much of it, or if you can try cast your mind back to it. What was the main issue in that fixture for you, or even just the main issue in the past couple of fixtures? What's the one standout glaring issue that we need to resolve?
Right wing. That's
that's a good point.
I mean, like it has reached that bar where it has become like intolerable now. But to be honest, if we see the midfield is still not sorted out, if your midfield is right, then I think it can also transfer its goodness in the forwards as well. So I think the midfield has to be sorted. That's why we need to see Bruno and Amrabat and players like maybe Mino or McTominay, whoever starts, they have to gel in together and bring build that wall in the midfield that can help the forwards as well as the defenders. So that's the one place where we are struggling in each and every game. We have still not sorted out like which 3 are our best midfield combinations. So it's like almost like for 30 to 40% season is still over. I mean, we have still not figured it out. And and also that as I mentioned about the right wing, we are not getting anything out of that right wing. Like I understand that he is helping out in the defense, but that's not what he's supposed to do. I mean, the expectation from him is to contribute in the attack. I know that defense is always there, defending is always there. Even if he makes some faults in the defense, also that will be ignored. But nothing he's offering when it comes to attack. And even in sometimes we have seen that like he has even found stopping that attack as well, like putting an halt to that attack as well. Like whenever he gets the ball and then he just plays the back pass. Like he has become like a McTominay of right winger, like the last season. Like he just break our play. Like so that's why I strongly wanted Pellissier to start, because the last game we have seen that in the 20 minutes what Pellissier has shown what a right winger should be doing, and like how many times he has overlapped and had brought himself into a good position from where he can put a cross in. And that's where we have bought Højlund for, just to finish the crosses. But now when we have the striker in Højlund and we do not have the supplies from the wings, so that's couple of areas for me, like the first sort the midfield and then focus on the right wing.
Yeah, Anthony failed to notch a goal or an assist yet this season, which is pretty fucking worrying.
I think it's been like 8 to 9 months since Anthony last got a goal or an assist for United.
Yeah, that is also,
and also the very one thing he was known for is like to cut inside and shoot the curler. Even we have not seen that also in this season.
Yeah, it's an £85 million burning hole in Ten Hag's pocket at the minute, the way it's looking, and it's one of them because he costs so much money. Then the United hierarchy at the top start asking why you drop it, why have you spent so much money on him and you're not starting him, why are you starting kids over him, why are you doing this, and then loads of politics upstairs start happening. So it is a difficult situation, but ultimately if Ten Hag made that decision to push for him, then it's on him. One person who's actually come back into the fold, Treyas, and who's been in really, really good form is Barry Maguire. Do you think this is just a flash in the pan, Shreyas, or do you think he can be a mainstay in the a mainstay, not a fucking mainstay? Do you think he'll be a mainstay in this team with Varane? Varane's injuries / his beef with the manager, whatever the fuck's going on there?
I really don't know. I'm glad that Maguire has stepped up in the past few weeks. He's been playing well. He's been distributing the ball quite well from the deep areas. But I still think with this whole Varane situation that we've got, it's actually quite worrying because, to be fair, Varane is probably the only first choice defender that we've got in that back line. Wan-Bissaka has just come in, except that, he's the only person who I'll say that, this is the first, he's the first choice defender for us in that back four. And whatever is going on between him and the manager and the unclarity that is going on, between the two of them, it's really worrying because you wouldn't expect any manager in the world to actually pick Johnny, Evans ahead of Rafa Varane, whether it's a game against Fulham, whether it's a Manchester derby, which is supposed
And
to
for clarity, Shreyas,
yeah.
That was against
Dan
City.
Errington's there's. Yeah, Dan Errington there's saying what's happening with Varane, and you were just describing that then, weren't you? Sorry, just to...
It's genuinely worrying because, before the international break that we had, when we, won the game against Brentford, it was being reported that Ten Hag, said that I wanted more football on the field when he got asked about taking Casemiro off. Maybe that created something in the dressing room, and because Varane and Casemiro are, good teammates they have a past at Madrid as well. Maybe something happened. Maybe there is a rift between the manager and the player. But I think this is the last thing that we want right now because we've already got one player who is out with the manager in Jadon Sancho, who will probably will, surely be leaving in the January transfer window. And I think Varane, if there is a rift between Varane and the manager, I think the dressing room will be in a very, very bad situation because Varane is supposed to be one of the leaders in this team. He's supposed to be, one of the person who's going to bring the expertise in, going to, bring that experience into this team because he and Casemiro, are literally the only ones who've won the Champions League. And playing against, teams like Copenhagen, Galatasaray, Bayern Munich, you need those sort of personalities in your team. And, with the way things are looking, I still think that Varane is fit because the manager hasn't come out and said that Varane is unfit. He said that he's voluntarily be dropped. So,
yeah,
I'm actually quite worried about, with this Varane situation because if there genuinely is a rift between the manager and the player, I just don't think how this defense is going to be shaping up until Lisandro comes back because you cannot bank on having Maguire and Evans and then Dalot on the in left back and Wan-Bissaka on the right hand side and expect to just nick 1-0 wins ahead ahead of every single team. It's not going to happen week after week. You cannot pick Johnny Evans in every single game. You need to pick a profile of Rafael Varane because on any given day he is head and shoulders above Johnny Evans or even Harry Maguire.
Yeah. Well, Sabitzer said that today in an interview, didn't he, about Shaw, and said Shaw, Lisandro, Varane, all these guys that are out are huge leaders in that team, and Casemiro, missing that presence. You could tell there's lack of leadership on the pitch. But yeah, I to be honest, I think there is something going on between the manager and, well, if Varane was dropped for the derby, and if you look at Maguire and Evans, Johnny Evans being played over you, who have never won a significant trophy in their life. Obviously, when Johnny Evans was at United, he did, but I'm just saying that he wasn't like a proper mainstay in the team. The gulf in class is fucking miles off, but then maybe it's a question of, I don't know if it's a case of because he's injured all the time, you can't really rely on him, so then you take him out of the firing squad. I don't know what's happening, really, really don't, but I hope they sort it because Varane needs to be in that back line. He's one of our best defenders. Yeah. So whatever the situation is, I hope they resolve it soon. Going from defence to attack, Dan, it's going to be a special night for Rasmus going back home. I think he's from Copenhagen, obviously playing against his brothers. His family's probably watching on as well. What have you made of Rasmus Højlund so far? And are you worried at all that he hasn't scored in the league yet?
I'm not worried about him not scoring because we know where the actual problem lies because he has not been receiving any services from the wings or maybe from the midfields. In the starting of his career in Manchester United, we have seen that glimpses like when he has the ball and what he can do. I mean, he has I think in the beginning of his career in this season, he has shown in first or second game, he showed I think when I was watching him, I was feeling like I'm seeing Harry Kane playing game because he was just so good in keeping the ball and just like holding the ball off so that the wingers can take the run towards the wings and come into a good spaces to receive the ball. So he has all the qualities like shooting, the pace is there, the ball control is there. So everything is there what a striker should have. But now then there is a lack in the services, which is a bit concerning and which is actually affecting his stature. If you see in the media, only the thing that will be elevated is like he's not scoring goals, but the main problem lies from the other players, and he's not getting that services. And I think in the last game we saw the stats like from the last 180 minutes he hasn't received any single service from the wings or from anywhere. So that's totally on the other players, and other players should see that we have bought this player for 70 plus million and we have to provide him the ball. And the wingers are, and I'm really concerned that both our wingers, like in Rashford and Anthony, both of them like are solo players who are not used to passing the ball more often towards the central of the opponent box, and that's where even the attacker are not benefited enough. And I'm also concerned like maybe this could be the case where I think even the era of Ole or Rangnick, like the players might have been used to those setup where the striker is not there in the team, and now when you actually have a striker, they don't know how to play the ball to them.
Well, we've basically not had a striker, have we, for the past fucking 4 years? I mean, Weghorst being up top, he was doing the running for the other people. Maybe they bring Weghorst back just to get the fucking a tune out of the wingers, because I don't know what's going on. And then likewise before that, I mean, when was the last proper... Ronaldo was good for the first season. I'm not going to try slate him too much because I know you guys love Ronaldo, but I'm just saying, like, he was a detriment to the team at times. And this shit that Goldbridge was saying the other day about Ronaldo, we only let him go because of his wages and we shouldn't have let him go. I was just thinking, are you fucking... Shrez, I know you loved De Gea as well because he was talking about him. I know you loved him, but it was one of them, like, it was time for him to... I don't know if it's just me that feels that.
It had to happen. It
had to go.
Saying that a player needs to leave is not saying that you don't like the player or the player is not a good player or something. It just means that maybe in a particular setup he's not working. Like if you see at Ronaldo now, he's the highest goal scorer in for this year. If you look at his goal contribution tally. But at United, he wouldn't have worked out. I would say, yes, maybe if he stayed last season, he would have scored more than Weghorst, but that's no big achievement. Anyone would have scored more than Weghorst in the striking position. But would it have helped us in the longer run? It wouldn't have, because United don't play to Ronaldo's strengths. If you have to play to Ronaldo's strength, you need wingers who supply him the ball constantly. And having wingers like Rashford and Anthony, as we can see this season itself, you've got someone like Højlund, but you're still not, supplying him with the balls. And on the same hand, Ronaldo is not your pressing demon. Højlund can still do that job. But Ronaldo can't. So it was just not the right setup for him. When he did come under Oli, maybe it was still a familiar setup for him to actually play under. But under Erik ten Hag, it was a completely new setup. It was a completely new playing style, and it just didn't function because it didn't play to his strengths. So I think maybe it could have happened in a better way. I would say it maybe could have happened in a better way. But there was in no situation that we could have built for this season or the next couple of seasons banking on Cristiano Ronaldo. It just wouldn't have happened. As much as any person would have wanted it to happen, it just wouldn't have happened. So you just need to understand it from the perspective of the entire team rather than just looking at it from the perspective of your favorite player.
Yeah, exactly. You said it everything right. I mean, even I'm a big fan of Ronaldo, but whatever happened and whatever he has done, I will never agree to that. And even if you see now where he plays for Al Nassr, I watched some of the games and he's kind of a player now. He just stands inside the box and he just wants other players to just provide the supplies. And now at least you have Højlund, and at least he will come back and receive the ball. If Ronaldo is there, then he'll
Can you
not
imagine
have
having Ronaldo who's not tracking back? Then you've got Rashford who's not tracking back at the same time. It would just create a whole new.
The difference was.
Yeah, go ahead.
The difference was Højlund drops back and he's able to get back into the box. When Ronaldo dropped back, he didn't have the pace to fucking get back into the box. So Rashford and Anthony on the wings are like, where the fuck's Ronaldo? And he's like, pointing near the halfway line or something. You're like, come on, man, like you're not. You know what I mean? I came across the video the other day, when he came back to Old Trafford against Newcastle.
Yeah.
And he's walking out of the tunnel and Sir Alex Ferguson's there and everyone's there, like it's packed, absolutely jam-packed. And I was like, where did it all go wrong, man? Because when he came back, the excitement, like amongst the fans, was unbelievable.
Has to be one of the
like
best returns for any player in history.
He scores as well. Obviously, he scores 2 goals, wins us the game, and you're like, oh my God, we're going to fucking win the league, we're going to win the Champions League, we're going to do everything. And it's been like a car crash. But yeah, anyway, sidetracked to Ronaldo there. I want to talk a little bit about Copenhagen. In terms of this competition, they've been desperately unlucky, having played some nice football, but just not taking the chances. They was pretty good in the game against us. They was decent against Bayern Munich. They was decent against Galatasaray as well, but just not have managed to get a win yet. But since their defeat to us, they've won 3 in a row in the league, scoring 9 goals, conceding 3. And they're going to take some confidence from the game at Old Trafford because, like I said, they played better than us. They outplayed us. And on the ball, they was much sharper, much more crisp. It was just plain to see. Their winger, Shreyas, is someone that I was keeping an eye on, Achore. It was just like every time he got the ball was just causing us problems. Do you think maybe Wan-Bissaka can nullify that threat if he starts?
Yes, I think Wan-Bissaka would, because I think we desperately needed Wan-Bissaka back, because I think as good as Dalot is moving forward, it was just not clicking in the back line. Maybe it has to do with the kind of centre-back partnership that we've got at the moment. Because, when you've got Lisandro and Varane in the back line, you don't have to, be as worried about getting beat by the man, or because, right now the kind of centre-back partnership we have, one mistake and you concede a goal. It's that way. With Lisandro and Varane, it's not like that. So I think maybe that has to come into play, into Dalot's play. I think that he's still a decent player to have. Someone who's, I think he's come in, he's played left back, he's played right back, he's been used as a utility player a lot, been played basically to the ground because he's been picked almost every single game, hasn't got any rest. So I think Wan-Bissaka coming in is a big boost. I think even if I still remember the game against Galatasaray where Zaha beat him and the awkward bounce, and then it led to a goal after we conceded. So I just know that when Wan-Bissaka is present in that position, that those sort of goals never get conceded from the right hand flank. So I think Wan-Bissaka would help a lot tomorrow as well, especially when you're going away. Copenhagen will try to attack us a lot more than they did at Old Trafford. So having Wan-Bissaka in is a big boost. And even going forward, maybe we can strike up something with Aaron Wan-Bissaka moving forward, trying to forge a partnership between whoever is playing on the right hand side with him, because we need to create more utility from that right hand flank. Right now, the thing is, our left hand side, it is dead, and our left hand side used to be the most productive side that we had. Like whenever we played well, the left hand side used to produce. Luke Shaw used to have
Pogba, Shaw,
Rashford,
all on the side.
Every single one of them used to perform well, and it used to be a more productive side. But because this season the left hand side isn't working either, and centrally Bruno isn't hitting the aces right now either, it creates a lot more pressure. So maybe if Wan-Bissaka gets a complete good run of games and we can at least get some stability on the flanks, maybe it reduces the pressure to play more narrowly in games, especially against teams like Copenhagen who play a low block and compact football.
Well, I was going to ask you about that as well, Dan, in terms of tactics. How do you see this playing out? Do you think it'll go a similar way? They'll kind of dominate, well, not dominate, but be much better on the ball, have better spells of possession, I'd rather say. Or do you think it'd be more of us on the counter-attack going away from home? How do you see it playing out?
Yeah, I think if they try to learn from the previous game, if we, the coaches and the staff, they try to learn from the previous game, they could see that their attack was totally spot on. I mean, they were so dangerous while attacking. The defending also was very good. But only place they were struggling a bit was in the midfield area. So that's where, and our midfield area is so poor. So if we get a stable midfield starting that game, I think we can capitalize on that part as well, because I think they were ahead of us in every stats. And but we could get a goal from Maguire. That was a header. So that was the only way we could have scored that goal, because that was the only way we could have scored against them, because they were not allowing us to create much chances, or even though if we created chances, but we were unable to find our place in a good position to score the goals, and that's where we were lacking. So, but if we have, because their midfield is a bit open, so if we can capitalize in that midfield part, I think we can hit them hard on whenever we have the ball and with the possession-based football. I don't think counter-attacking will work here, but that position base will definitely work out here.
The issue was in the last game, they was using a false 9, weren't they, who kind of sat on Amrabat, so couldn't really move anywhere. and then they would kind of switch from that into attack really, really nicely. Like you could tell they've just had a system that they've worked on for years and years and years. And even though the talent of the players might not be there, you can see there's a fluid system, and they're all kind of working towards
and
it.
I think they knew the perfect way to counter us, especially in that game.
Yeah.
I think the most frustrating part about the game at Old Trafford was that we did create some really good opportunities. Like Rashford had 2 golden opportunities. One where the goalkeeper made a mistake, and for some reason he plays it behind to Højlund. Doesn't go for the goal himself.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that.
One is that. Second, another Rashford opportunity. He was one-on-one with the keeper, made a very bad touch, and the ball went out of play. It led to a goal kick.
Yeah.
Then Garnacho came on, had a similar opportunity from a corner, bad touch. We didn't get a goal. So if we finish off those chances, you're 4-0 up. So even if you concede a penalty at the end, massive kudos to Onana for saving that. You're not you're not in that pressure situation. So I think the biggest if United do take certain lessons from the earlier game, please finish your chances, especially if they are 1v1s, because you cannot keep banking on winning 1-0, especially against these sort of teams, because we've been conceding penalties, VAR decisions are not going against us. So with all of these situations going around, the worst we can do is not finish off the chances that we've cleanly got, because right now any single goal, even if we do get them cleanly, they're being ruled off offside, they're being ruled off handball, something or the other, just gets announced. A new rule actually comes in at some certain point of time. So just finish off the chances that you get. You never know what will happen throughout the course of the game, especially you're playing away as well.
Don't get me started on VAR, as we'll be here for hours, mate, talking about it. I'm just going to read off some comments before, before we do the quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Lucky Singh saying, don't go games, fans, we won't change performances, the Glazer out badge. Some capybaras in the chat. Dan saying what happened with Varane, we've already touched on that. Is Lissandro back before Christmas? No, I think it should be the new year. Yeah. What's the mad thing is, what am I trying to say there? The mad thing is, I don't know what I say there. We won't see Amrabat and Casemiro together for a full 90 minutes, at least until February.
Yeah.
And the reason why we brought Amrabat in is to have that kind of security in a double pivot. And it's like, I don't think we're going to see our proper full-strength team ever this season, the way injuries are going at the moment.
Lissandro won't be back anytime before January. Luke Shaw will only be brought back around Christmas. I think he'll be once again be training up to on his full fitness levels. I still don't know what is the situation with Kobe Mainoo. No updates about Malacia whatsoever. What is going on with him? There is nothing on Malacia as to what's going on.
Just one of those seasons, mate. Honestly, it's just one of those seasons.
Except that I still see us having another injury throughout the course of the next couple of months. I see anything happening.
Probably, you're probably right, but yeah, you've cursed it now. Shah Sam is saying, is it a coincidence they're all high earners? I think it was alluding to Varane and Casemiro. I mean, that goes back to what fucking Goldbridge was saying about the wages. He thinks people are going to be moved because I don't know what the crack is, but I'll just have to wait and see what happens under Sir Jim Ratcliffe. No one's really feeding him the ball. I think it's alluding to Rasmus Højlund there. Anyway, right. Quick fire questions. Wednesday night, Copenhagen versus Man United in the Champions League. Will United score more than 2?
No.
Okay. Will Varane get any minutes?
Yes.
Will it be a better performance than the last game or worse?
Worse.
I would say better.
Who scores for us, if anyone?
Højlund
scores. And Garnacho.
Who is your prediction for man of the match?
Onana.
Højlund.
Okay. Right, should we dive into the predicted 11s then?
Yeah.
Let me know who's his first up, Trez, and we can talk. Mine's first, right, okay. To be honest, this is more of like, I've gone with Bayern Day just because of like, what's the fucking point in signing a second goalkeeper if you're never going to play him? Do you know what I mean? I think I probably will play Onana, but I'm trying to speak it into existence. I'd like to see Bayern Day. I'd like to see what he's like, but I'm sure Ten Hag will be stubborn about it. Wan-Bissaka at the back, because we spoke about Achori there, winger, dangerous, needs to nullify him. I think it'll be Lindelof and Maguire because Evans can't play every game, and I'm not sure. I think the beef's still ongoing with Varane, so I've gone with them two. Reguilon at the back because Dalot was shit in the last game. Amrabat, Ericsson, Bruno in the midfield, I think, but that could McTominay could keep his place. I'm not sure. I'll just go with that because it's a bit of a change, and Ericsson brings more football. And then Antony, Højlund, and Rashford, because I don't know what Antony's got to do to get. I mean, I don't know what he's got to do to not get dropped at this point.
Yeah.
He needs to be dropped, but I just don't think he will because he's so stubborn with him. But I want to see Pellistri, and then even better Ahmad when he's back as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I've gone with that.
Next is mine. So I've gone with Onana because I just think with the kind of things that we've got at stake, and in this match, it's a very, very high and important game for us. So I just don't see him dropping Onana, and especially when he's been putting in good performances, just maintain that good confidence up, play Onana again. Wan-Bissaka needs to start on the right hand side. I think Delo still plays from the left hand side because for some reason he still prefers Delo in this starting 11 for some reason, but I still think that he'll retain his position as well. I think Maguire sticks alongside Varane as the centre backs. Then I think Amrabat plays because we need a true number 6 in that lineup. We just we saw how dangerous players like Palhinha can be on. They can single-handedly just dominate our midfield when we place players like Eriksen in 6. So I think Amrabat plays. I think Bruno plays. I think Mount gets a start. I think he deserves a start as well because we need someone who's got the legs to actually cover up for the entire 90. Eriksen cannot do that task for the full 90 minutes. So I think Mount brings more energy, and maybe I think it's time that Mount actually gets a consistent run of games because we've seen glimpses. We've genuinely seen glimpses of him. So I think he deserves a consistent run of games, and I think Garnacho, Højlund, and Pellistri, because Pellistri came on, got the assist against Fulham. Garnacho, I think, was much better than Rashford. Whenever Rashford has started the season, I think he has been much more impactful. He's been much better when it comes to tracking back and helping out in the defense. So I think I'll stick with Garnacho because when you're going away against a team like Copenhagen, they will look to attack us. So you won't be needing someone like Rashford who just occupies that position in the attacking areas, because we all know how this game is going to go. So I would rather go with someone like a Garnacho who can at least help in getting the ball back, and I think in a way it helps in getting play our wingers and our midfielders on the ball more when our wingers track back. And I think Højlund picks himself. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just saying we don't know if Rashford's available or not either yet.
Yeah,
do we?
He was injured,
because
so
of injuries,
you never
he had
really
a bit
know.
of a knock. Yeah. Right, Dan.
Yeah.
Talk us through yours, please, mate.
Yeah, I'll go with almost, 80 to 90% of what you have already mentioned. But Onana in the goal, Wan-Bissaka starts on the right side, Varane and Maguire in the defense, and I think Reguilon will start just because Dalot was not that much great in the last game, and Reguilon is now available, so why not play the actual left back there? And I think in the midfield, I think in my team it's mentioned as Mount, but I feel it will be Amrabat and maybe Maino will start in the midfield. With
my bad. If Thingy isn't on there, that's my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think then Bruno Fernandes picks himself. The reason why I didn't go with Mount because we haven't seen this midfield working out whenever there is Bruno and both Mount starting the game. I always wanted when Eriksen was playing as more regularly last season, he was playing more like a deeper role than the number 10. So it was like Casemiro behind and Eriksen, and on top of that the Bruno. So they were like in the three in this direction. So, but now it seems like whenever Mount and Bruno both starts, Mount and Bruno both are up in the field. So that's never going to work out because that will leave your number 6 isolated with no one to support them. So that's why I've gone with Amrabat and Maino was on the bench last game. So I think he's ready to start the game. And on the right, I think and everyone has seen enough of Antony and nothing. Nothing negative towards Antony, but like when you have another player in Pellistri who is performing well, though definitely he should get the chance. So that's where that you build that competition, like when you know that you have another player to compete, and that's where you have to bring that into Antony, that your position is not permanent. And that's why we have seen like how Shaw and even in the last season, Malaysia, they fought together and they even improved each other in that battle. And then on up top, Højlund picks himself and Rashford. I think he will start on the left. I think that Rashford is not injured. That's I feel. I may be wrong, but I think that is something to do with the disciplinary action which happened last week with his parting. So I think that punishment was given to Rashford just because of that act. I think Rashford is fine to start this game. That's what I feel, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I do hope we see Mainu though. I really, really do. Because I want to see him in that midfield. Talk about balance. Him alongside an Amrabat or something that just brings so much more like defensive security in there with the ball playing as well because he's really, really good on the ball.
If we play like we did again, when he started in pre-season against Arsenal, if we play like that, it could go quite a mile in our journey this season.
I just think he doesn't want to rush him back, does he? That's the only thing. You've seen that with quite a lot of players at the minute.
I can't even blame him because right now, whoever he's picking in just gets injured every single couple of games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you're going to get... He's methodical anyway with it usually, but he's bringing players back from injury. You'll see like 15, half an hour. 40. Now he's like a minute, a 2 minute, 3 minute, just to make sure that you're going to be all right. Right, with everything we've discussed, lads, United, the opposition teams, etc., tactics, what score do we think the game's going to be on Wednesday?
2-0.
I would say 2-1.
2-1. I'm going to go with 1-1, I think.
And then we crash out of
I think it's going to be a draw.
I think this game can be the decider for whether we qualify for the Champions League or not.
You think?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think we need to win this because at least if we win tomorrow, drawing against Galatasaray won't sound as bad. If we draw tomorrow and then we draw against Galatasaray, it's curtains for us.
But the thing is, if we win against Copenhagen and if we drew against Galatasaray, still we are in trouble because if Galatasaray wins against Copenhagen and they drew against us, they will still be 1 point ahead of us, regardless of whatever the result is in Bayern Munich.
Also, traveling to Galatasaray,
it's not easy.
Stadium, they are nutcases, mate. Like just fucking wild as fuck.
And without Lisandro, I don't think this team would stick.
Yeah, he's the only one that you'd want to take into that stadium.
Out of the remaining 3, we definitely have to win 2 to qualify.
Yeah, I think tomorrow is out of the 3, the remaining 3. Wednesday, sorry, is the easiest one in it.
Yeah,
out of the 3 games for sure. But I still feel like we're going to go into that Bayern Munich game needing a win or something. I just had that feeling. I don't know what it is, but hopefully not. Hopefully get the win and we can all be sat here celebrating after it. Make sure you can leave a like for us if you're looking forward to the game. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. A big thank you to Dan and Trey for coming on. I know it's rather late over there in India, but what day are we on tomorrow? Tuesday. So we'll have a new show tomorrow for you guys, and then we'll have the pre-match build-up and a live review after the game as well. As always, stay locked in. Turn on that notification bell. Make sure you drop us a follow on socials: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. We're absolutely everywhere. So follow Real Reds Talk on there. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. See you in a bit.